Good evening, folks. This is Deb. You know, I'm shooting right from the hip tonight. And I'm sure I'm going to piss some people off, but I'm the person who doesn't let the American people off the hook. So here I am on January 6, 2025. And this is my I can't believe we're back here again video. Okay. So apparently, the past doesn't mean anything to 77 million people who voted for Donald Trump. Apparently, people have forgotten what happened on this day in 2021. So just in case you've forgotten all of that, I put some nice reminder videos in the body of this particular video. Make some popcorn and sit back and enjoy that. As you watch the man you are now putting back in the White House, sat on his fat ass and watched all of this unravel on television. A bunch of homegrown terrorist thugs trying to break into the Capitol, stop the peaceful transfer of power, and keep Donald Trump in office. Let that be your first reminder. And you know what? There are people out there saying that this election was stolen. Don't go there unless you can show me evidence. I'm not going there. I'm going here. 77 million people chose fascism over democracy on November 5th, 2024. And that to me is mind-blowing. But there are groups of people that blow my mind, and we're going to talk about those groups. We're going to start with women. 53% of women voted for Donald Trump because apparently overturning Roe wasn't enough for them. Well, you know what? Buckle up, ladies, because he's coming for your contraception. He's getting rid of no-fault divorce. And he has plans for where you should be. You should be taking care of your men. You should be homebodies. You should be baby makers. And then we have veterans for Trump. Even though Donald Trump has shown nothing but disrespect for veterans over a 10-year period, calling them suckers and losers, making fun of John McCain. And by the way, the Republican Party under Donald Trump is talking about cutting veterans' benefits. There's only one party talking about not cutting those, and that's the Democrats. Then we have Latinos for Trump. This is one I'll never understand. Even as he's talking about deporting 11 million people in this country, he's not talking about deporting people from Canada. He's talking about deporting primarily Latino people, the people who are part of the backbone of America's economic strength, the people who actually pick your crops, paint your houses, build your houses, fix your cars, fix the roads. Every single person that died on that bridge accident that happened not too long ago were immigrants. Every one of them, because nobody wants to do those jobs anymore. White men aren't going to pick your crops. There are Texas farmers panicking about food shortages and price increases because they know what's going to happen if that is carried out. And Tom Homan has vowed that it will be carried out. Let's talk about labor for Trump. There's an oxymoron if I've ever seen one. Donald Trump has never been about labor. He has never been about the common man. He is not pro-union. He has never been pro-union. He will never be pro-union. Right now, we have three men who have banded together. Elon Musk, the guy who owns Trader Joe's, I can't even remember his name, and Jeff Bezos, all Trump supporters, who are trying to get the National Labor Relations Board declared unconstitutional, an institution that was declared constitutional in 1937. It blows my mind. It blows my mind that 77 million people chose fascism to solve the country's problems. And you did choose fascism. Because whether you want to believe this or not, and whether you have actually read this or not, Project 2025 is the most fascist document I have ever read in my life. And yet Donald Trump claimed he knew nothing about Project 2025. Yeah, that's right. That's why he chose Russell Vought, the architect of Project 2025, who worked for the Heritage Foundation, as his choice for the Office of Management and Budget. And they're telling me I hear nothing but the Democrats are tone deaf. The American people are pretty tone deaf. You have literally completely forgotten his whole first term, it seems, where he did absolutely nothing for people like you and me. Absolutely nothing. He did nothing for the average American. Nothing. What did he do? He gave the billionaires a tax cut. And you paid for that. You paid for that tax cut. He didn't give you a tax cut. He gave his billionaire buddies a tax cut. And now guess what? They're in his cabinet. People were complaining that Joe Biden's cabinet had a net worth of $138 million. Well, Donald Trump's is approaching almost $400 billion now. That's an oligarchy. And they don't give a shit about your problems. Not one. What they are going to do is line their pockets by screwing you over. Don't tell me the Democrats are tone deaf. Don't tell me that Kamala Harris didn't have the right message. What Kamala Harris actually had was an 85-page document that outlined what she was going to do with the American economy to make it better for us. What Donald Trump did was have a concept of a plan. Oh, wait, no, that wasn't even the economy, was it? No, that was a concept of a plan for what he's going to replace Obamacare with. And yet some people out there didn't know that the Affordable Care Act and Obamacare are the same thing. So now we'll have 43 million Americans who may not have any health coverage. We're going backwards, folks, instead of forwards. You don't solve your problems in fascism. They only complicate your problems. When you have a fascist oligarchy in power, there is no solution to anything. There is no solution to anything because they're not interested in solving your problems. They're interested in enriching their lives. This is a giant power and money grab. But while he's at it, he's also going to deny a lot of people their rights, like women, like the LGBTQ community, who actually came out at over 80% for Kamala Harris. They were the one group, my people were the one group that got it right. And yet still, we had the log cabin Republicans who paid Melania Trump 6 figures to talk to them before the election. I will never understand gay Republicans. I don't want to know any gay Republicans, quite frankly. We had a guy who spent $15 million on anti-transgender ads for a part of the population that is 0.5% of the American population, a small group of people who don't harm anybody. They don't harm anybody. They just want to live their lives. My daughter is one of them. And not only did he spend his money on that, but dark money groups who support him spent over $200 million demonizing transgender people. So when people start losing their rights, when women start losing their reproductive rights and their bodily autonomy, when gay people start losing their rights, when transgender people are denied their existence, that's not culture wars anymore. That's oppression. So you know what, folks? I don't want to hear it anymore. No more whining, no more sniveling. It's time to put on your big people underwear. We need to fight our way out of this thing. So let's start now. There are people who he is proposing for his cabinet who should never be appointed, never been appointed, and they must not be confirmed. Call your senators now. Start now. I'll talk to you all later.